I think probably range bag appropriate.
Range bag appropriate.
Vehicle.
Vehicle appropriate.
Yeah, vehicle appropriate.
Don't put it in your backpack and carry it around with you.
Yeah.
There, I said it. I said it.
Welcome back to the Mountain Man Medical YouTube channel. Thanks for hanging out. In today's video, we're going to talk about the armed attorneys saying you don't need to carry a trauma kit and you shouldn't carry a trauma kit. That's not true. They do say that you need to carry a trauma kit, but then they tell you don't. Very confusing. Let's break this down next. We're going to talk about it.
Even though it might be the responsible thing to do.
Exactly right. And that's really the sad part is that, you know, is it responsible to carry a trauma kit? Yes.
Yeah.
I would agree. But again, would I advise my clients who are just out there in the world to carry it just in anticipation of a self-defense event? No, absolutely not. I don't want that to be something that the jury latches onto.
Yeah.
You're right.
Before we get into this video, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit that like and subscribe button. That is a free way to support me here at the channel. So if you like this video, you got something out of it, that's a great way to do it. All right, so I got sent this video by quite a few number of people asking my opinion on it. This happened a little while ago. I'm a little late to the party, obviously. But there's been a lot of people talking about what these attorneys say you should and shouldn't carry for legal purposes. Now, I understand the arguments that they're making, but I don't think that they're very good ones. I am not a self-defense expert. I happen to know quite a lot about self-defense. I've been studying it for a long time myself personally, and I run around in these types of circles. So I understand a lot of the philosophies and the uses that go into that. However, that's not what I teach here. I teach trauma medicine. I'm trying to help people patch other people up as best as possible and maybe win the day that way. And not everybody is comfortable with carrying a weapon for self-defense. Some people would rather not have to hurt somebody else, but they're totally okay taking care of somebody else. And one of the main points that they make in this is that you shouldn't carry a trauma kit for self-defense. They view trauma kits as more emergency preparedness. And so if you're carrying a weapon for self-defense, they do not suggest that you carry a trauma kit for self-defense. The argument's getting kind of deep here, so I'll go ahead and roll a clip here of part of why they think that this is important. But again, I disagree, and we'll talk about why after.
Anytime if you have more than one firearm on you, if you have anything unusual, it's going to be this guy is a crazy nut job who was looking to get into a shooting situation. Right. He was just dying to have to, use this stuff. And so he created the situation. We've talked about that before.
Now, if the jury is able to be convinced by the prosecutor that you are a crazy person because you have a trauma kit on you, there's a lot of other things going on, right? You've probably made a lot of other crazier decisions besides just to carry a trauma kit. One of my main problems with this argument is that carrying a trauma kit is fantastic for self-defense. And absolutely, if you have the tools to punch holes in people, you need the tools to patch holes in people because there are going to be holes in you too, probably. Gunfighting is an inherently dangerous occupation. You have to be prepared for that. Not only that, but I want to have the tools to patch up my kids and my wife if they get hurt. Right? I don't want to be sitting there watching my kid bleed out and be like, oh, thank God I didn't carry a trauma kit on me because this is going to look really great in court. On top of that, emergencies happen much more often than self-defense. You are far more likely to need a trauma kit than you are going to need your pistol. So having that preparedness ahead of time to prepare for all emergencies, including self-defense, I would consider self-defense to be an emergency, like one of the most emergent situations that you could be in. While a prosecutor might be able to play with that concept in order to sway the jury, that seems extremely unlikely to me. Of course, I'm not a lawyer, but I think I could articulate very well in court that I carry this tourniquet to save my life and the life of my family.
Do you have a duty to render aid in that situation? Let's say I find myself in a self-defense situation. I stop the threat. I have one of these trauma kits. Does the law impose a duty on me to attempt to save their life?
Yeah, generally no.
No.
And only very few people in very specific circumstances have a duty to render aid.
Now, one of the questions I get asked on a reasonable occasion is, if I shoot somebody, should I try to apply tourniquets and save that person's life? And again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, I am not a self-defense expert, But my thoughts on this, my opinion is that no, you should not try to render aid to someone that you have just shot. The reason for that is emergency preparedness or emergency management, right? This is an emergency that I'm in. My safety is the #1 priority. I'm going to keep myself nice and safe. I'm going to call EMS. I'm going to call law enforcement so that they can approach the situation. They have more people, more gear, more equipment, and better training to handle that situation than I do. So I will remove myself from this area of danger to a safer location. Now, another reason why this topic kind of came across my radar is because John Correa at Active Self-Protection has done a video on it. And we do a lot of business with John. We have their trauma kits in our Mountain Man Medical store. So if you want an Active Self-Protection trauma kit, you are going to purchase it. That money goes to John for his charitable purposes. And our boys at the warehouse are packaging up all of those materials and into the bags for that. So all of the proceeds that come from anybody that purchases one of his trauma kits goes to charity. But I've had the opportunity to meet John on a number of different occasions. I wouldn't call us friends, but I've met him a number of times and gotten to speak with him on various topics. And he is exactly like you would expect him to be in real life. Very authentic, really cares about people. But he has very strong opinions that he's not afraid to share. And what I thought was really funny about this video is I was watching his video on it, and he has a difficult time keeping it together after one of these scenes. And I'm just going to play that real quick because I thought it was funny, and it might bring up another topic of discussion. So hold up.
Would I advise my clients who are just out there in the world to carry it just in anticipation of a self-defense event? No, absolutely not.
I gotta tell you, Emily, that statement right there means I probably wouldn't want you on my legal team until you got educated to know better.
I just thought it was funny. Just that little, oh geez. Yeah, I don't really agree either. I'm not a defense expert. I don't, sometimes I pretend to be. But I'm also not a lawyer, right? And I'm not a doctor. This is just an opinion of mine. So you do with it as you will. Don't forget to head over to mountainmanmedical.com. Check out our Yellowstone and Wind River trauma kits. Don't forget to hit a like and subscribe on this video. Helps me out a ton. Appreciate all of you. Catch you guys in the next one.